Hey everyone. Today I'm at a job site out at the Knapp's Corner area in a community called Flowers Mill, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time here and just talk about what can happen when your painter that you're hiring does not know how to properly paint cedar siding. What you'll see with some companies that'll happen is when you got a cedar sided home, they'll figure that, hey, I'm just going to go pick up some paint, and they pick up a flat paint and they go at the house here and they start to just paint it with a paint. And I'm here today to tell you that that is absolutely the wrong method to paint your cedar siding. Now, a solid color stain and a solid color paint operate two different ways. So what a paint does is, on cedar siding, paint just lays on the outside of the surface, whereas a stain wants to penetrate that wood. So let me kind of show you a little bit here of what's happening, because we're having to go through and actually correct a project that another painter did improperly a couple of years ago. So I want you to see here, look at that. And this is just from 3 years. We were able to peel all of this off, and this is still gonna continue to keep on coming on off, because once again you can see here it just peels off with my finger in these sections. But what happens is with the paint just laying on top of that surface, the cedar moves, it swells, it reacts to the weather and the different temperature, and what will happen is that it'll just start to flake right off. And unfortunately, what happens is when the house is already done improperly with paint, there's no fantastic method in completely fixing the house. What you have to do is you got to chase down these areas, and unfortunately, once you start to get into the paint there, even if you were to throw stain over top of it, that bottom layer is still that paint layer, and that stain's not going to penetrate through, and you're still going to deal with peeling. And so this client here hired a local company, and they just took paint and they put it on the house here, and they absolutely wrecked just a beautiful and gorgeous home. And so our correction today, what we're going to be doing is scraping off all the loose stuff here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to oil-based primer, because we're going to try to get a little better bite into that cedar siding, and then we're going to go back over it with that paint. And unfortunately it hurts me, but that's what we have to do. If we were to stain this house, now what you would get is between 7 to 12 years, you would have just a faded look on the house. You would have to give it a good power wash, and then you could go ahead and restain the house again, and it would look just as fresh and as clean, and you wouldn't be dealing with these peeling areas that we're seeing here today. The line of stain that we really love to use actually is a line called Cabot, C-A-B-O-T, and they're solid color acrylic stain. It's beautiful. I can walk up to a home that's been done with it, and I can tell you, it looks about 7 years, it looks about 9 years, because it fades so consistently. So make sure your painter truly understands that. With a cedar-sided home, you want a solid color acrylic stain. If it was a wood home, you could absolutely go over it with paint, but you need something to suck into the pores of this. I'm going to show you a little bit more here about what's happening with the scraping. I have a guy here on the side of the house, or the back of the house, that's doing some scraping, and I just want to show you just how bad this really is. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to show you some of these areas. I'm going to take the scraper and hit it there for a little bit and just show you how it just peels right off. So let me flip the camera here. Okay, now we're there. Thank you. So if you see here, look at that. Just sheets coming off. Go ahead, look at that. Just comes right on off. And if we look at the back of the chips here, you can see it's just coming, the little wood fibers are coming right off there. Everything's just coming right on down because they did this absolutely wrong. And so we can just still go through, and we can scrape this. And see, we just got to continue to clean this off. And this is just Just really bad. Look at that. I'm actually going to give this back here and just kind of show you the side, and you just see, I mean, just absolute failure of the product, because paint was never meant to go onto this house. Should have been stain all along. But I do want to show you the front of this house because it's just beautiful. I want to show you, just some of these projects that we work on. Proper prep is absolutely important. Using the right types of products, understanding the differences between the products, understanding the surfaces that you're working at, is just absolutely key. But let's take a look. Look at that house. Just absolutely gorgeous. So this would have been, just a nice fade that would go on. But now we're dealing with the peeling issues. So just remember, cedar-sided homes need a solid color stain. Do not put paint on your cedar-sided home. It'll wreck it, and you're going to be spending a lot more money than what you would have originally to do the job right. So you definitely need to remember that. I'm going to take a walk here now inside the home because we're going to be doing some painting, or we actually are doing some painting on the inside here. So I want to show you what's going on inside the home. Oh, these owners are getting ready to potentially sell the house, and so we're neutralizing their paint. They went with a really nice off-white color throughout the home here, and you can see we're already painting these rooms. Just a really nice color. And let me flip the camera around here, show you how they got this brownish goldish color throughout here. And you can see these other rooms back in here, we've already painted it this soft color, and it's just really opened up the space. Hey Randy. Hi. So you can see, and now just look like the kitchen area. This formal dining room, and that's just a fantastic color. What color are we putting on in here again, Randy?
City Loft.
It's a color called City Loft by Sherwin-Williams. It's got just a very, very slight gray tone to it, but just nice off-white, just opens it up. And this home actually, though, does present a unique challenge for us, because if you look at this, we have the stairwell here in the middle, but now let's look up. Woo-wee! Yep, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. We're going to get up there, we're going to get that area painted. So we're putting together a system, that way we can safely get up in that space there and get the areas painted. That way we don't run into any issues here. So just kind of want to show you that space. Beautiful. We're going to be painting the kitchen island. We had two different sample colors that they were looking between. One with a little bit more blue and the other with the gray. The gray color is actually Iron Ore by Sherwin-Williams. And if you take a look, we're actually going to be going here with this lower color. I think it's going to be fantastic. There's some of those gray tones that are in the countertop. So it's going to pull together really nice, and it will just be a fantastic accent in here. There's a lot of homes that are going with the kitchen island as its own separate solid color. I think that's really smart. I think it looks great. It makes the island more like a furniture piece, more like a big accent in the kitchen. And so if you're thinking about painting your kitchen cabinets, or your kitchen cabinets are already painted and you want to do something a little bit different to kind of spruce up the area, painting that island, that darker separate color is going to be great. pull a color that's on the countertops already. Maybe it's on the backsplash. You want to pull something that's already in that room. You don't necessarily want to introduce a whole different color. So you're going to want to pull that color, like I said, from there, from the backsplash, and that way it's going to pull the whole room together. Another great way to quickly update your kitchen, though, too, would be to replace the poles, which you're going to see a lot right now. I see as a trend are these nice, long, black, squared off poles that are going in. Adds a little bit more dimension to the kitchen cabinets. I think just looks really great. Quick way to update the home or update that kitchen for you and just give you something a little bit different. So want to say thank you for watching this video. Remember again, because I cannot stress this enough, cedar-sided homes keep the paint away. Use a solid color stain each and every time. That way, you're gonna have a home that just has a natural fade that occurs. You power wash, restain it. If you put a paint on a cedar-sided home, you're gonna deal with this peeling issue, every 3-4 years. You're gonna have to scrape, you're gonna have to oil prime, you're gonna have to paint back over top of it, and you're gonna be dealing with those same types of issues. So remember how to do it correctly. Make sure whoever that you're hiring to do the project, if it's not new look, as much as I would love for it to be new look, if it's not new look, make sure your painter understands that and they're going to be using the correct product on it. So thank you very much, guys.